finally have the parts. The replacement spring for this Pfaff 362. The part number was 106355. So yeah, we can finally reassemble this tensioner. It is different from the other two Pfaff tensioners that I saw roughly the same time, but that was a couple months ago while I waited for this part. So we've got our main stem here. I'm going to build the entire tensioner and then slip it onto this stem, and then that stem has to get us installed in this body and this body. So it's a bit of a pain, but first we need to stack up our 3 tension discs. We got dish, double-sided dish, and then we've got the piece with the hook on it, and all these have a notch in the top that's going to get aligned later. And then the release washer with the bar on it. And now we sit our tension spring, loop it around both sides of this sandwich of parts, and we can slide onto the main stem, rotate until the tension spring slips into the slot, the tail goes in the slot there. And now we've got our set of tension washers that provide our pressure, and those are going to go on, and the loop on the outside of the spring, the piece that was broken off of that other spring, has to snap onto there. Snaps onto the lowest section of that tension washer. And now when we slide the washer, it moves, the tension spring goes with it. Then we've got this compression cone-shaped washer that goes on the outside, and our dial and our nut is going to go on the very far side. But I'm not going to put those 3 on permanently until after I assemble the stem into this barrel and body. So barrel has a slot, the take-up spring goes into the slot, and then this rotates around. That's where it's at 0 tension, and I like to preload the springs a little bit, so I've got about a 1/4 turn of twist on that. And then there's this set screw. Set screw holds the barrel onto, or the stem on the barrel. And now we've got our spring is flipping properly, or nicely rather. Then with our lift washer in there, this has got the same double 2 pieces pins, the thin smaller pin that drops down into the barrel, and then this fatter pin that goes in and pushes on it, and you can see it's slightly magnetized. So this pin has a rounded end and a flat end with a taper. The flat end with the taper is what pushes on the smaller, the narrower pin there. So with those 2 release pins in place, we need to rotate our tension discs and the hook discs so that they can align onto the stopper here. And then this larger barrel with the stop on it goes in position, and we've got this clamping bar, and this assembly is what sticks into the machine. So when I put this in the machine, I'm going to make sure that this mark is up top, vertical, and then I'm going to, as you can see, the barrel slides in and out of this outer housing. So I'm going to make sure that that housing is in a good spot before I tighten the set screw that clamps on this band and then clamps on the barrel. Right, so we got this whole assembly balanced in here. I'm going to set it up in place. And you have to make sure that this outer barrel is as firmly in place as it can get. And then we have to draw the black inner barrel out so it's even and flat on the back side. And then the set screw inside the machine has to go down, and it has to hit on that strap, that clamping piece. And if you don't hit the clamping piece so that the set screw can push through the gap in this piece down onto the stem, then that stem is going to be loose. And then last things, we need to make sure that, yep, I can feel it loosening when I lift the presser bar. So everything is in place and it is pushing up on the release pin. With the body in the machine, we can now put that semi-cone washer on. We can put the scale on, and then we can put the outer nut in place. And then we'll stitch test the machine, and once we have the tension set on the stitch test, we'll turn our scale dial around to 4 or 5 and tighten that little set screw.